Hare Krishna, devotees. We'll begin with the Kirtan. Nama Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namini Namaste Saraswati Devi गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैता गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरावन चारी यमुना तीरावन चारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव राधे जय राधे जय राधे जय राधे जय श्री राधे जय जय प्रभुपाद, 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद। श्री श्री राधा माधव की जय। जगत गुरु श्री गुरु शिला प्रभुपाद की जय। So now we will be reading from the personified Vedas. The Shrutis are speaking, and we are going to recite shlokas today from shloka number 11 to 19. So we'll begin. Tulya Shruta Tapashilas Tulya Sviyari Madhyamaha Api Chakru Pravachanam Ekam Shushrushavopare. Although these sages were all equally qualified in terms of Vedic study and austerity, and although they all saw friends, enemies, and neutral parties equal, they chose one of their number to be the speaker, and the rest became eager listeners. Shri Sanandana Uvacha Swasrishtam idamapiya Shayanam Sahashaktibihi Tadante Bodhayam Chakrus Tallingai Shutayah Param Yatha Shayanam Samrajam Vandinasthatparakramaihi Pratyushe Bhetya Shlokair Bodhayantyanu Translation. Sri Sanandana replied, after the Supreme Lord withdrew the universe he had previously created, he lay for some time as if asleep, and all his energies rested dormant within him. When the time came for the next creation, the personified Vedas awakened him by chanting his glories. Just as the poet serving a king approached him at dawn and awakened him by reciting his heroic deeds. Shri Shrutaya Uchuhu जय जय जहि अजाम अजित दोष गृभीत गुणां त्वमसि यत् आत्मना समवरुद्ध समस्त भगः अगजगद ओकसामखिल शक्त्यवबोधकते क्वचित् अजायत मन चचरतो अनुचरे निगमः. The Shruti said, victory, victory to you, O unconquerable one. By your very nature, you are perfectly full in all opulences. Therefore, please defeat the eternal power of illusion, who assumes control over the modes of nature to create difficulties for conditioned souls. O you who awaken all the energies of the moving and non-moving embodied beings. Can we move the slide a bit higher, Mataji? Maybe I resort to. Sometimes the Vedas can recognize you as you sport with your material and spiritual potencies. Text 15. Brihad upalabdham etad avayanti avasheshatayah yata udas yata udastam udayastam yata udayastam ayau vikriter mridi va vikritat अतर्षयो दधुस्त्वयि मनो वचनान् चरितं कथम् अयथा भवन्ति भुवि दत्तपदानि नृणाम्. Translation. This perceivable world is identified with the Supreme because the Supreme Brahman is the ultimate foundation of all existence, remaining unchanged as all created things are generated from it and at last dissolves in it. Just as clay remains unchanged by the products made from it and again merged with it, thus it is toward you alone that the Vedic sages direct all their thoughts, words, and acts. After all, how can the footsteps of men fail to touch the earth on which they live? इति तव सूर्यस्त्रयधिपते अखिल लोकमल क्षपणकथामृताब्धिम् अवघाय तपांसि जहु किं उत पुनः स्वधाम विधुताशय कालगुणाः परम भजन्ति ये पदम अजस्र सुखानुभवम्. Translation. Therefore, O master of the three worlds, the wise get rid of all misery by diving deep into the nectarian ocean of topics about you, which washes away all the contamination of the universe. Then, what to speak of those who, having by spiritual strength rid their minds of bad habits and freed themselves from time, are able to worship your true nature, O Supreme One, finding within it uninterrupted bliss. Text 17. ऋतय इव श्वसन्ति असुभृतो यदि तेनु विधा महदहं मादयोन्दम् असृजन् यद् अनुग्रहता पुरुषविधोऽन्वयोऽत्र चरमोऽन्न मयाधिशूयः सदसतः परं त्वम् अथ यत् एष एष्वेष एष्वेशेषमृतम्. Translation. Only if they become your faithful followers are those who breathe actually alive. Otherwise, their breathing is like that of a bellows. It is by your mercy alone that the elements, beginning with the Mahatattva and false ego, created the egg of this universe. Among the manifestations known as Annamaya and so forth, you are the ultimate one, entering within the material coverings along with the living entity and assuming the same forms as those he takes. Distinct from the gross and subtle material manifestations, you are the reality underlying them all. Text 18. उदरम् उपासते यऋषिवर्तमसु पूर्पवृषः परिसरपद्धतिं हृदयम् आरुणयो दहरम् तद उदगाद् अनन्ततव धाम शिरः परमं पुनरिह यत् समेत्य न पतन्ति कृतान्तमुखे. Translation. Among the followers of the methods set forth by great sages, those with less refined vision worship the Supreme as present in the region of the abdomen, while the Arunis worship him as present in the heart, in the subtle center from which all the pranic channels emanate. From there, O unlimited Lord, these worshippers raise their consciousness upward to the top of the head, where they can perceive you directly. Then, passing through the top of the head towards the supreme destination, they reach that place from which they will never again fall into this world, into the mouth of death. Text 19. स्वकृतविचित्रयोनिषु विशन्निव हेतुतया तरतमतश्चकास्यनल तरतमतश्चकास्यनलवत् स्वकृतानुकीर्तिः अथ वितथास्व अमुष्ववितथां तव धाम समं विरजधियो अनुयन्ति अभिविपण्यव एकरसम्. Translation. Apparently, entering among the variegated species of living beings you have created, you inspire them to act, manifesting yourself according to their higher and lower positions, just as fire manifests differently according to the shape of what it burns. Therefore, those of spotless intelligence who are altogether free from material attachments realize your undifferentiated, unchanging self to be the permanent reality among all these impermanent life forms. Shloka 20. Swakritapurveshvamishva bhahir antar samavarnanam तव पुरुषं वदन्ति अखिलशक्तिधृतोम् अंशकृतम् इति नृगतिं विविच्य कवयो निगमावपनं भवत उपासते अङ्घ्रिम् अभवं भुवि विश्वसिताः. Translation. The individual living entity, while inhabiting the material bodies he has created for himself by his karma, actually remains uncovered by either gross or subtle matter. This is so because, as the Vedas describe, he is part and parcel of you, the possessor of all potencies. Having determined this to be the status of the living entity, learned sages become imbued with faith and worship your lotus feet, to which all the Vedic sacrifices in this world are offered and which are the source of liberation. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Thank you. We will hand it over to Nitya Sakhi Mataji. Hare Krishna. Mataji will chant the Mangalacharan, right? Before you.
Prabhuji will, na?
Prabhuji, even Sharad Prabhuji is absent. You want me to chant?
Yeah.
ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाखया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितां त्वं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान् सहगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमा ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिनिधि नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा माता जी, you can start.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, it is not getting in slide share mode. Yeah, is it fine? Can you see PPT?
Yes, Mataji.
Yes, Mata ji.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, Hare Krishna. Yesterday we went through chapter 87 and Prabhuji first briefed about the first few verses from chapter lesson 128, 1 to 13 verses, which includes about the nature of the supreme absolute truth as described in the Vedas. And he then went through lesson 129, that is the second part of this chapter 87, Vedastuti, that is the supreme reality, understanding Krishna's nature, creation, and devotion, which includes verses from 14 to 17. So this chapter 87 is Vedastuti, that is an overview and an introduction, the prayers of the personified Vedas, the Shrutis, which is from Srimad Bhagavatam 10 Canto, 87 chapter, as well as from the book Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So these four verses, so the focus it was given on. Actually, this all chapters from all these lessons from 128 to 133. So they do highlight, and there are about 28 major shrutis which are explained, and so there are total 50 verses. And out of that, we saw yesterday the four verses. Today it will be lesson 130, and it will again highlight more about the transformative power of devotion. So in this recap, we can proceed. So this particular verse, the the particular lesson, the supreme reality, the understanding Krishna's nature, creation, and devotion is about. The 14th verse talks about the divine supremacy and the role of devotion in overcoming illusion. The 15th verse is about the supreme unity, understanding Brahman and the nature of divine manifestation. The 16th verse is about the nectar of divine worship, that is transcending material misery. And the 17th verse is about the essence of true life through devotion towards the Supreme. So, it's gone. This PPT is displayed. It is not in slideshow. Okay. So, it is the 14th verse. It is been included. It includes the six themes. Out of that, the first two are displayed in the slide. Is about the unconquerable Lord, that is Ajit. Here, Shrutis are calling Lord as Ajit, isn't it? And victory, victory towards this Lord talks about. The Shrutis, they do glorify the Lord, Mahavishnu, and the nature of illusion, Maya. And so this is based on the commentaries of Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. So in the glorification of Mahavishnu, the Shrutis are saying that they are praising the Lord. Yes, the scriptures unequivocally extol Mahavishnu, acknowledging him as unconquerable and relate with the divine opulences. So Lord is Sadaishwarya Purna, and the different adjectives like Ajaya, okay, like Avabodhak, etc., Samavaruddha, like Lord is Paripurna. So he is incomplete himself. So this proclamation portions the Supreme Lord as the ultimate sovereign over all beings and the material dream, that is Maya, which highlights his transcendental essence and the foundational role in the universe creation. The second theme of this 14th verse is about the Maya who bewilders through the three modes and possesses significant challenges with the in front of the living beings and engages them in these three distinct modes of nature, that is Sattva, Raja, and Tamas. So Maya is depicted as the eternal force that ensures conditional souls in ignorance, creating profound challenges in their spiritual journey. So, Maya is known for creating obstacles in the path of bhakti, and it is the sattva gun which helps condition soul so as to go ahead on this path of bhakti. So, actually, bhakti is gunatit, and in essence, these three modes of Maya tries to trap the living entities in various forms of misidentification, causing them to identify with their material conditions and bodies rather than seeking their authentic spiritual essence and the supreme. Here, Shrutis are saying that, Lord, yeah, so Maya is also your creation. Okay, so how this Maya controls the living beings, it is being mentioned. So here, Shrutis, they are glorifying Lord and here trying to illustrate about the Shakti and potential and the power of Lord. So out of the six themes from 14th verse, the third theme is the nature of devotional service, that is bhakti. So So this particular theme, commentary by Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that genuine realization of Mahavishnu is unattainable without the practice of bhakti. So even though we are freed from this ignorance, but still one should remain on the path of bhakti so as to attain the love of Godhead, isn't it? So the mere freedom from ignorance, it is not enough. One has to remain on the path of bhakti. So this highlights devotion as a cornerstone of spiritual advancement, suggesting that mere intellectual comprehension or detachment from material entanglements which falls short of true enlightenment, and it emphasizes the importance of sincere devotion in every seeker's spiritual odyssey. The fourth theme is about the synergy of knowledge, that is, and bhakti. So knowledge is that Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, and etc. So the Vedic teachings reveal that. So these are the different paths, but they do converge towards the bhakti. So Vedic teachings reveal that through the triad of knowledge, yoga, and bhakti, living beings can ascend towards the supreme. So Shrutis are saying to the Param Brahma, that is the supreme personality of Godhead, that all these conditioned souls, they may attain the different path, but if they are converged together towards bhakti, so one can attain the love of Godhead. So it advocates that the spirituality where diverse paths converge towards the divine underscores the value of each discipline in the quest for ultimate truth and realization. So each discipline is not important, but if all these paths they do converge together and lead to bhakti, so one can attain the ultimate truth in the life. So about this particular theme, which talks about knowledge and bhakti. So knowledge based on Jnana and Ashtanga Yoga. So Gyan, this part leads to the understanding of Brahman, that is the impersonal aspect of the Supreme, which is characterized by eternal existence and consciousness. So it reveals the underlying unity of existence and the profound reality that transcends material forms, offering a sense of liberation. Ashtanga Yoga, engaging oneself so as to realize Paramatman, that is super soul. And this connection, which underscores the intimate relationship between the individual soul and the supreme, and positions oneself as the guiding force in one's life journey. So, bhakti, engaging oneself in bhakti, nurtures a direct personal relationship with Bhagwan, that is, Supreme Personality of Godhead, and represented as Sri Krishna or Mahavishnu. So, through sincere devotion, one can engage with the Supreme Personal attributes, that is, divine love and mercy, creating a deeply fulfilling spiritual bond that enriches one's existence. So this on this particular six themes from 14th verse, we could realize that Lord Himself is a Param Brahma, and He is Aishwarya Purna, and so the conditioned soul may have the different paths. If they do converge together, one can progress on Bhakti Marg in this particular path. So uh, the fifth and sixth themes towards this is the eternal attributes of the Supreme, and the sixth theme is about the scriptural affirmation of the Supreme's omnipresence. So it illuminates the teachings of Mahavishnu and the nature of illusion. So Upanishads, so there are numerous verses which are suggesting that there is the presence of the Supreme in all beings, and it plays a vital role in this particular cosmos. So it is the omnipresence of God and His intimate interconnection with every facet of existence. He is not just sitting in His bird. See, He is representing Himself as a Paramatma Swarup in every living entity. And so it depends, this particular interconnection, it deepens our understanding of His divine nature and influence. So likewise, there are different explanations in different shastras like Brihad Aranyak Upanishad, Shvetashvatar Upanishad, Mundak Upanishad, Atreya Upanishad, Gopal Tapani Upanishad, and Katha Upanishad. So it is Swarup of Lord, that is Satchit Anand. He resides in every body as a super soul, Paramatma Swarup, and it is his wisdom and knowledge which is the most supreme and called as Param Brahma. And one can approach with genuine devotion towards this supreme personality of Godhead, and the soul can transcend from death through the practice of yoga. Then, about this 15th verse, the Supreme Brahman, that is the unchanging source of all existence. So, there are 5 themes which talk about the 15th verse. The first theme is about the unity of existence. Yes, it is here, it is being shown that. So, it is not just the gallery of living entities the world is, isn't it? So, all these are being unified with the Supreme Brahman, isn't it? And so they are interwoven, interconnected, and as the clay, it is the nice analogy it is being given of clay, isn't it? So can one explain this analogy of clay for this?
Hare
Haribol?
Krishna.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go ahead. So it's a very nice example. As clays, we make a cups, we make a dishes, we make a different things. Articles look at different, but the underlying ingredient is the clay, right? So like that. So different jiva, different form, different things are there, different conscious. But in all those things, the Lord is existing. So that is the clay is the Lord represent. So that is the prime ingredient in everything. That's what it talks about. So again, unity. We are talking about unity, right? That's where it explains. So everything unifies. So it is not that dog is different, man is different, or something is different. There's a Paramatma, there's a Lord, at all, and these are his manifestations. I think that's what it talks about.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah. And the second theme, thank you, Radha Prabhuji. The second theme illustrates about supreme versus their demigods, isn't it? So the demigods, like we do say, like Indra is the king of gods. It is being referred as Agni. So there are so many demigods, isn't it? But Lord is called as the supreme personality of Godhead, isn't it? This is the ultimate truth. Lord Vishnu is. And so there are so many verses from Rig Veda. They do also talk about there are so multiple divine figures which has been referred in Vedas, yet they do affirm that the true supremacy resides with Lord Vishnu, isn't it? So there are the different departments and the in charges, they are the demigods, and this assignment it is being done by Lord himself. Then this third theme is about the nature of transformation. So Lord Vishnu is the origin of all creation. He himself remained impervious to change or transformation. And so here it distinguishes between the divine nature and the transient material nature. So here the best example is given of, can anyone refer?
Gajendra prayer.
Yeah. Thank you, Lakshmi Mataji. Yeah, so Gajendra, isn't it? So Lord Vishnu is the unchanging source from which all creation it flows. So we know Gajendra Moksha story. So it is the material nature versus spiritual reality. So it is Prakriti. So there is a clear distinction between the material nature and the supreme. So material world is inheritably mutable, but the supreme it stands as unchanging reality. So it has been referred in case of Srimad Bhagavatam as well as Chandogya Upanishad that the material world is subject to constant flux. Change is the only one which changes in case of material world. So the essence of ultimate reality is inseparably tied to Brahman. So the fifth theme is about the focus of worship. The This particular commentary, it advocates for directing our worship and meditation towards the Supreme Lord. So rather than towards the demigods. So only the Supreme Lord is the ultimate cause and the sovereign controller of the universe.
Seems Mataji got disconnected. Hare Krishna.
Looks like freeze,
Yeah.
possibly.
Prabhuji, I have called the Charu Prabhuji. He will join in 15 minutes.
Yeah, he said he will join late. That's what
Ah.
Mataji.
Yes, Charu Prabhu had called me and said that we continue with the recap until he joins because he's redoing his slides a bit.
Yes, Mataji.
So I had already informed her, Nitya Saki Mataji.
I think she got disconnected.
I think she has some issues with her internet. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare
Yeah.
Krishna. Just let me check or share. I will have to download this. Just wait.
Such a coincidence. Today we are doing personified Vedas are waking up the Lord, and today is also Utthana Ekadashi.
Yeah,
Yes,
great.
Mataji. So wonderful coincidence.
Coincidence.
But today,
And
actually,
I'm
they
in
sing
nothing
these.
down sitting.
Yeah, actually, they sing these verses, right? Today to wake up the Lord.
Well,
Yeah,
how it is, but
this
this is
time.
actually the beginning of the creation and not this 4 months.
Maybe I will try this PDF. So it's raining outside now in Nasik.
So you are having issues with the internet, I think.
Yeah.
Today is also
Archana Mataji, can you share Mataji? Archana Mataji.
yes,
So it
Mataji.
is easy with Mataji. आप शेयर कर लीजिए माताजी ऐसा लगे तो उनको प्रॉब्लम है तो नेटवर्क का
Yeah. No, but yeah. Just wait.
You got it, huh?
Yeah.
Your video is not on, Mataji, so we cannot see.
Just I'm
Want us to share,
reconnecting.
Mataji?
No. Got
If you want,
Wi-Fi
one of
on.
us can share. Today is also Disappearance Day of Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj.
today Bhishma Panchak is also started.
Started Vishnu Panchak.
How do we follow that in today's day?
Okay, we can eat we have to avoid eating like Ekadashi, but from today is Ekadashi anyway. But the next 4 days, because this time only 4 days. So next 3 days. Next 3 days you'll be also following similar to Ekadashi, but you are very strict. You are supposed to eat only fruits and roots. So you have to check whether whatever comes to your hand, is it a fruit or a root? Then you can eat. So that is about the eating part. Then of course you have to chant extra. You can chant 64 rounds if you can
Christmas Stuti.
these 5 days.
Yes.
And read more Bhagavatam. This way you can do more service. That is for the Bhishma Panchak. Then towards the end, that is on Purnamani day, that you have to break the Bhishma Panchak fast in the evening, on the Purnima day, in the evening when you see the sunset, moonrise, then you can break the fast, like by eating all. But first you have to offer it to the Brahmana, and something like you have to offer all those things which you have left during the Bhishma Panchaka as well as during the Kartik Vrata. All those things you have to cook and offer to some Brahmanas, if possible. Is offered to Krishna, and then first of all today you have to take the sankalpa for Bhishma Panchak, and on that Purnima day, at the end, you have to offer all your merits, whatever merits you get for Bhishma Panchaka, to the deities, to your deities. So offer the merits to the deities. Offer the whatever you have left on Bhishma Panchaka day, you offer to the Brahmanas. Then give them Dakshina Dan, and after that you break your fast. Then you can eat whatever.
Thank
Oh,
you.
Ganga Snan is there, but we are so far away. We can just remember.
Mataji, we can read Vishnu Sahasranam more and
Yes,
more.
Sahasranam also can.
Bhishma Stuti.
Bhishma Sutu.
So
So
that
we
thing,
can
this
do the-
sabudana is okay, right? What we
Pardon me?
जैसे for Ekadashi sabudana खाते ना, sabudana.
Ah, Sabudana.
That is okay, right?
Sabudana is made from the root only, but generally they eat only roots. That is the actual tapioca.
Recording in progress.
Potatoes. So it's like that.
Oh,
So you eat
potatoes.
the root and a fruit. If it's a root and a fruit, not processed. Sabudana is kind of processed. So eat only root and fruit. It's a bit difficult.
Very
That's why it's called
difficult.
Bhishma Panchak. Bhishma
But
means
okay.
very difficult.
But okay, let's try what we can.
Mataji, even that 5 flowers we have to offer to these things, right?
Yes, yes.
Different flowers.
Yes. Lotus, jasmine, durva, and
Then sandal pulp. Sandal pulp. No,
sandalwood pulp. Yes, sandalwood pulp and the
sancte.
red banduka flower, the red flower.
Ah, right.
Yeah,
Mataji.
may I? Yeah. Yeah, if Prabhuji joins, please tell me, huh, Mataji?
Okay, sure, we'll tell you.
Yeah. Uh, yeah, so these are the several scriptural evidences which are cited by Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, how Lord is supreme. And we discussed about how the demigods, they are different than the supreme personality of Godhead, and he is the ultimate creator and maintainer. Then yes, so the conclusion of this is the fifth theme from this 15th verse is it underscores the necessity of recognizing the Supreme Brahman as the foundation of all creation, while also addressing the prevalent misinterpretation of demigods as the ultimate authority in Vedic text. So this nuanced understanding invites deeper reflection on the nature of divinity and the essence of true worship. So Vedas, they do include, they do also praise about the demigods also, but the Vedas which do illustrate the Lord as the supreme personality. So those Vedas or those Shrutis, they are called as the Sreshta, isn't it? So because they do talk about the supreme nature of the Lord. So the next section, next half, we have seen the 16th as well as the 17th verse. The 16th verse is about the supreme bliss of bhakti unto Sri Krishna. So it is based on the Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentary. So the first thing, it includes the nectarine ocean of topics about Sri Krishna. So there is volumes of literature which shows that the Krishna is the vital source of spiritual sustenance and cleanses the devotee of all forms of material impurities. So this particular commentary, it highlights the transformative nature of such engagement, indicating its capacity to eradicate even the most subtle remnants of karma, thereby purifying the devotee's heart. This profound insight into the impact of devotional practices instills hope and determination in the spirit of every reader. So, abandoning austerities. So, advanced devotees rise above traditional methods of austerity and intellectual knowledge and discovers a far greater joy and fulfillment through direct devotion to Krishna. And it emphasizes on the uplifting essence of devotional service, which serves as a beacon of encouragement and inspiration to all seekers. So it reinforces that participating in Krishna's pastimes transcends oneself for such authorities, thus solidifies that the devotional service it stands as unrivaled among the spiritual practices. Okay, so the third and fourth theme is about transcending material misery and recognition of Krishna as the supreme personality of Godhead. So, how this third theme, transcending material misery, so how it can be illustrated? Can anyone? So um, one can follow the spiritual progress on this particular path, and one can get freed from the cycle of birth and death, isn't it? So it leads to liberation from the cycle of birth and death. So if one is on this particular path and it eliminates whatever it has been bad to us, that is negative qualities, and it makes us free from all constraints, isn't it? And it gives us the spiritual strength. So perfect devotees, they do have this particular extra abilities, extraordinary abilities, and this particular verse establishes that Krishna is not only as worshipable, but as the ultimate source of bliss and liberation, and harmonizes with the understanding of him as the supreme being in Vedic philosophy. As just now Mataji said, so today is Utthana Ekadashi, Kartik Ekadashi, and yeah, it is the light, how Vedas and Shrutis have enlightened societies and the souls as we see, and it is the day of thanksgiving to Lord. So, uh, a quote from Rigveda, it emphasizes that only those endowed with profound spiritual insight can genuinely comprehend and articulate these majestic glories of Lord Vishnu. So, the fifth theme is about the eternal happiness through worship and the main thrust of the personified Shrutis. So there is a stark contrast between eternal joy experienced by the pure devotees who wholeheartedly worship Krishna and the flickery nature of material life. It underscores that there is undeniable importance of devotional service as humanity's ultimate pursuit. So the only aim and goal of life is the devotional service. So one should have at the center, one should prioritize this devotion throughout the day, and one need to be focused 24/7 on this particular path. Even though remaining in our professional duties, okay, so it can be attainable. So Gopal Tapani Upanishad states about this perspective that the eternal happiness is an exclusive treasure for those who worship this omnipresent Lord. So, according to Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's insights, the personified Shrutis passionately advocate for the supremacy of devotional service to Krishna above all other spiritual practices. They convey that the true wisdom lies in diving deep into this nectarine ocean of Krishna's pastimes, which not only purifies the heart but also leads to boundless bliss. The Shrutis vividly portray Krishna as the Supreme Lord, entirely deserving of worship, offering liberation from all material sorrows to those who wholeheartedly dedicate themselves to Him. So here Shrutis are glorifying Lord, you see, and they are taking care that all these conditioned souls they can get enlightened with this particular knowledge. Then is this last verse we have seen from this yesterday's lesson 129, that is 17, which talks about um, the nature of devotion and the reality of existence, the devotion versus material volume, material existence, and the Shrutis, they do contrast the transformative power of devotion with the emphasis and on the life, and so as to make us free from the emptiness of the life which has been devoid of it. Such a life is depicted as mechanical and lifeless and akin to the mindless operation of a baby. So, Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur invokes the profound teachings of the Shrutis, which assert that those lacking devotion resemble corpses, and this reveals vital truth, authentic life, and vibrancy, which do stem from genuine devotion. So, the role of divine mercy. So, the creation of the universe is the potential attribute of the Lord. Not only that, but the mercy, divine mercy, and it is a testament to it. So, engaging oneself in worship is highlighted as a crucial expression of gratitude for this divine grace. So, Lord reciprocates us. So for that, we have to engage ourselves in worshiping Him, and it enables us that He will fulfill all our desires, and especially related to devotional service. So what is the role of the Lord and the mercy? It can be reciprocated that um, where the demigods recognize the Lord's lotus feet as a protective umbrella for those who surrender to Him. So even demigods, they do praise the Lord, and so as to attain His love. So one should try to understand the supreme personality of Godhead, and He is the supreme personality of Godhead. That is the Purushottam. He is Purna Purushottam. So this verse draws attention, and it distinguishes between the material and the spiritual realm, and signals that the divine represents the ultimate reality that transcends all material forms. And this distinction is not merely theoretical, it is a beacon of enlightenment and awareness. Next, fourth theme about the Lord is yes, within this creation, Lord stands as the source of all manifestation, and it encompasses various manifestations like it fulfills Annamay Kosh, Pranamay Kosh, the Panchakosh Adharit, life that is being explained in Taittiriya Upanishad also, and it elaborates on these layers of existence. So one can have this particular life based on this Panchakosh, and for that, Lord bestows mercy for us. So, consequences of ignoring divinity. So, for those who disregard devotion, the repercussions are severe and chilling, and this results in a state of ignorance and darkness, marking a profound detachment from the divine source. So, Krishna hai Surya Saman or Maya hai Andhakar, isn't it? So it is the state of ignorance and darkness if one remains in this particular thought process of being in material life. So both Agni Puran and Vishnu Dharmottara Upa Puran so describe the demonic essence of those who do lack bhakti towards Lord Vishnu, and highlights their descent into Asuriya realms. So they are called as asur, isn't it? And demoniac dreams one can dwell into. The essence of rasa and the bliss, you know. So Lord is Rasa Raj. So Taittiriya Upanishad establishes that Sri Krishna is the very embodiment of divine ecstasy, surpassing all material and spiritual experiences. So the pinnacle of spiritual experience is defined as Ananda Sat Chit Ananda. So that is a bliss and it inherently linked to the divine. And the concept of rasa encapsulates this ultimate experience of divinity. So through the different rasa, one can reciprocate with the Lord. So it is such a great thing that one can establish and connect himself or herself towards Lord through these different rasas. So it is attained and only possible in case of the bhakti of Lord Vishnu.
Hare Krishna, who has joined?
Okay, it is the last one. So the main thrust of the personified Shrutis, so according to Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentary, the personified Shrutis underscore the absolute necessity of devotion, highlights the necessity of devotion towards the supreme personality of Godhead, and as the pathway to true life and consciousness. And it does state that those who neglect to worship the divine remains in ignorance. And this personification, it conveys the profound truth that genuine fulfillment and liberation arise from recognizing and engaging with the divine essence, the Lord Himself. And it was such a nice slide Prabhuji has prepared and selected. So it is the essence of whole
You don't
lesson.
need to go. Mata, you don't need to go. It's a complicated slide.
Yeah.
But this for all of you, at a glance, if you want to see the whole chapter, you can this. So now this lesson 130, I broke it down to about 2-3 parts, so that easily you can see it,
Yeah, Prabhuji lesson, it was so difficult, but when I read after coming from Yatra, so it was all above our
It's not
head.
easy. I agree with you. It's not easy lesson to deliver, do that,
Yeah.
It's extremely tough, toughest one. Thank you. But you do what I heard in the last few minutes. You're doing pretty good. Every one of you are really become so expert. I'm ready to turn over everything to you guys now.
No, Prabhuji was so insignificant before you.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you. Are you done now, Mataji? Are you done now, Mataji?
Yeah, yes, Prabhuji.
All right, okay. First of all, everyone, please accept my humble. Yeah, it's okay.
Yes,
Haribol.
Prabhuji. Yes.
Yeah. So please accept my humble obeisances, all good to Srila Prabhupada. Welcome back, everyone. And my apology for I was working to the very last minute redoing the PowerPoints for this lesson 130, because as I read more and more VCT's comments, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's comments, there's so much depth in it. You have to read again and again and again, and the new ideas pop up in the mind. So at the very last minute, I keep doing it, changing it. Because my job, my my attempt, my endeavor, so how to make it as best as possible, and how to make it that is easily comprehend, easily understood by some of those who are not very familiar, deep philosophy is concerned. So I have to devise newer and newer methods. Actually, I do so many times. I drafted different versions of it, and if I don't satisfied, I go over all over again. So let's, without further ado, let's start. So first, I'll offer my prayers. ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकय चक्षुर्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुश्रुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवंश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सगणरघुनाथान् वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्यदेवं Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakha Vitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deen Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesh Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Siddhubhyeva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavbhyo Namo Namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Shri Prabhupada. So now offering prayers to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Padayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratvishe Nama. O most magnificent incarnation, you are Krishna himself, appearing as Shri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You have assumed the golden complexion of Srimati Radharani, and you are widely distributing the pure love of Krishna. May we offer our obeisances, humble obeisances to you. Krishna Varnam Tisha Krishnam Sringa Krishna Varnam Sring sorry Krishna Varnam Tisha Krishnam Sango Pangosta Parshadam Yagnai Sankirtana Prayer Yajanti Sumedasah. In the age of Kali, intelligent persons perform congregational chanting to worship the Godhead, who constantly sings the names of Krishna. Although his complexion is not blackish, he is Krishna himself. He is accompanied by his associates, servants, weapons, and confidential companions. Nana Sastra Vicharnai Kanipunau Shadadharma Samstapakau Lokanam Hitakarinau Tribhuvane Manyau Sharanya Karau Radha Krishna Padaravinda Bhajana Anandena Mattaliko Vande Rupa Sanatana Raghuyugo Shri Jiva Gopalako. I offer my respectful obeisance unto the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan, named Shri Rupa Goswami, Shri Sanatana Goswami, Shri Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, Shri Raghunath Das Goswami, Shri Jiva Goswami, and Shri Gopala Bhatta Goswami, who are very expert in studying all the revealed scriptures with the aim of establishing eternal religious principles for the benefit of all human beings. Thus, they are worshipped, they are honored all over the 3 worlds, and they are worth taking shelter of because they are absorbed in the mood of the gopis and are engaged in the transcendental loving service of Shri Radha and Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Narom Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayat Nashtaprayeshva Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Govinda Madi Purusham Tamam Bhajami. Hare Krishna. Hare Bol, everyone. Please accept my humble obeisances. Over go to Srila Prabhupada. Welcome back. So, without wasting much time, we'll get right into it. So, Mataji did recap. I just heard the last portion of it. So you are now somewhat familiar with what we covered yesterday. And now we are going to moving on. Each of these segments I told you they are being offered, prayers being offered different shrutis. There are 28 shrutis. So I divided into 28 shrutis prayers into six groups, groups, so you need to understand that, and different shrutis, they express different aspect of the Supreme, okay? And bulk of it so far that what we have gone through, beginning with text, we covered with 40, first 13 verses, then 14 through 17 verses so far. Bulk of it, what we saw, Shrutis were offering prayers. Of course, they're offering prayers while they're awakening, glorifying Lord Mahavishnu. But so they are offering prayers to Mahavishnu, of course. But the initial prayers, initial group of the Shrutis, they were offering prayers focusing on the impersonal Brahman aspect of Mahavishnu, okay? Because these are Shrutis, not Smritis, okay? So Vedas are largely composed on two components, Shrutis and Smritis. Shrutis, that is Vedas, Upanishads, so that's the Jnana portion of it mostly actually. Some portion is Karmakanda is there, and some portion, of course, the very small portion is Upasana Kanda, Bhakti Kanda, So they are focusing on thus far on the impersonal aspect of the Brahman realization, okay? But now, today onwards, you will see they are gradually making a transition from super soul, but Paramatma realize from the Brahman realization coming to more personal aspect of it gradually. First, coming to Paramatma realization, okay? And then, lastly, they'll come to Bhagavan realization directly, okay? So Paramatma is a transition period now. And remember, you all know, Brahman is impersonal aspect of it. But as devotees, we know that is the Brahma Jyoti of Bhagavan. But the next level, Paramatma, that is a partial representation of the Supreme Lord as a person. And as you know, Paramatma, super soul in our heart, but today we are going to see not only heart, he resides elsewhere also, that was the news to me, because Krishna says, Sarvasya Chaham Hridi Sannivishto, that's in the heart, he's situated his expansion as a super soul, right? But today we are going to learn, and remember, Paramatma realization, Paramatma prayers are being tried, by endeavored by the yogis, because their prayers, their practice is to control the heart and the mind and the senses, So they directly appeal to the Paramatma residing in the heart. But again, there's a gradation, there's a hierarchy among the yogis. Those yogis in the beginning stage, neophyte stage, they are not that advanced enough, okay? And why it is so? Because here we are going to see the grossest level moving gradually to subtlest level. So grossest level of Paramatma, and I'm not going to use any more super soul, because now I'm trying to discipline myself, because as I'm writing my thesis, my dissertation, I have to abide by the academic standards. In the academic research papers, it's not given like soul, super soul. It is addressed, academician, they like to address is Atman. Atman means Jiva. Jiva. The Jiva, there's a difference between Atma and the Atma embodied soul. Now, please listen very carefully, okay? I'm going to move you to a more complex aspect of it. Can you mute your microphone, please? Because that takes my attention away. Pardon me. So they are moving from grossest level to the subtlest level, and the three aspects that we are going to see. Okay. So those newcomer yogis, neophyte yogis who are not advanced, their focus, because they are still on the material plane, material aspect of it, right? And material aspect means dharma, kama, moksha, and that moksha comes later. But they are basically the first one we are going to see here is those yogis. They offer the super soul, the perceived super soul. And I'm using those words very, very carefully, okay? Deliberately. I need to be very, very careful about what words I use. So they are this neophyte yogis. They are still totally occupied at the material level. Material level means paid puja. Laksha Mataji, paid puja समझो जरा. पेट पूजा means
यस प्रभु जी.
कि जहाँ पेट पूजा नहीं करेंगे तो भिक्षा अरे भक्ति कैसे हो पाएगी ना. भूखे पेट तो भक्ति नहीं हो पाती है ना, unless you are really advanced enough. So these yogis, they want to make sure that they got food and everything like that. So they pursue super soul Paramatma. So we'll talk about Atma, that is Atman, academic way of expressing, and super soul as Paramatman, okay? And to distinguish Jiva, the pure spirit soul, from that which is embodied, material body, they are called Jivatmans, okay? So you have to recognize Jiva and Jivatman. Jiva means pure spirit soul. Jivatman means they still have a material body. And Paramatman is the super soul. So these yogis are still in the material plane, so they perceive super soul in the bladder. Bladder means the abdomen, all right? The abdomen, that's where the tummy is located, right? So, and tummy, Bhagavad Gita, Krishna himself says, I am Vaishvanara. Vaishvanara means I am the fire of digestion. Unless Krishna helps us, no matter how good our enzymes and everything is there, we cannot digest the food. So that's fire of digestion, Jatara Agni. Jatara means the tummy, Agni means the fire. So that is also super soul controls that. And these neophyte yogis, they see Krishna as that Vaishvanara, okay? So we are going to focus that, and that is the grossest level. And we are going to move from grossest gradually to the subtlest, okay? So the next level, Aruni, that is called, as the yogi makes progress, he moves coming to the higher level. So now he focuses on the subtler aspect of it, the super soul, Paramatman, in the heart that we all know. Okay? Sarvasya Cham Hridi Sannivishto. So that is super soul in the heart, Aruni. I'm trying to give you before we get in the slides, giving you what you are going to hear. I'm trying to give you a scope of today's presentation, lesson 130, okay? So we are going to move from this from the Brahman realization, coming to Paramatma realization, okay? And Paramatma realization in the three different aspects. One is as a Vaishvanara, as the fire of the stomach, Jataragni, and then coming into the heart, and then ultimately moving to the subtlest level, and that is in the brain, is the bottom of the brain. It's called Brahmarandra. Technical word is called Brahmarandra. It's actually the right here, okay? In fact, those who are never comes back, they become released, liberated. The Atma, when he leaves the body, it just shatters the this khopri, skull, and that hole, from that it escapes, and then he never has to come back to material world. But many of us, there are different holes, right? Eyes, ears. Atma escapes from that, Okay, so you need to remember Atmarandra, Brahmarandra is that hole in the khopri. That is called, and that is the ultimate. And that's also super soul is residing there too. So super soul resides different places, depending by the perception of the yogi. Okay, so with that short introduction, it's not too short though. I'm going to move it to my slides, and we are going to move relatively rapidly, okay? Because I got to cover a lot of material, right? I don't know how much I'll be able to cover it. So please listen very carefully. And if you don't understand some of the slides, if it appears too complicated, don't hesitate to stop me. Okay? And I am going to take a break in between 3 to 5 minutes and stop over and see how you guys are doing it. Again, I keep emphasizing questions will arise, and don't be shy to ask the questions, okay? Because question leads you to learn much more deep, in greater depth. When I was doing these PowerPoints, as I study deeply, very, very focused mind, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur commentary, literally dozens and dozens of questions pop in my mind, and I look for answers, That's how I keep refining my PowerPoints, okay? I use AI, of course, but that is just as a tool. I tell AI precisely what I want, okay? So the ideas are all I gather from what my reading, my study, and my own realizations. But words put in the sentences, that is by AI that you see that, All right. Any question thus far before moving to the slides now? I'm going to
Hare
stop
Krishna.
every now and then, okay?
Yeah, Prabhuji, as you go forward, you will just little bit of explain on that 3 stages, like we are talking about Paramatma, right? So recites
Yeah.
that.
It's a perception of the yogis. The neophyte yogis, they pursue Krishna, as Krishna said in Bhagavad Gita, that I am the fire of belly, digestion. Jataragni. Jatara means stomach, Agni means the fire. Fire means digestion power. Okay. So that is also Krishna. Without Krishna being there as Paramatman, we cannot even digest the food, no matter how good our enzyme system and everything is there. So Vaishvanara aspect. In fact, many Vaishnavas when they sing prayers before partaking prasadam, they sing that prayer, that Krishna's verse as I am Vaishvanara, that they offer, especially Swadhyaya people that I have heard, notice that, Okay, let's. So, any question? So, Radha Vinapru, what's your question actually?
No, I think, you mentioned that,
First
I
level
was
is
trying
that
to connect with that, physically understand where it is located. That was the,
Vaishvanara,
yeah.
and then intermediate level is the heart. Okay, and that's Aruni. That's technical word is there, and then the Brahmarandra. Okay, but both, even in the heart, the Jivatma is still on the material plane. Okay, until after he develops love for the super soul, moving on to the Bhagavan aspect of it. Okay, now let's move. So, are there any other questions? I thought this needed, because it's a complicated philosophy we are talking about, very difficult to understand. So I want to make sure you guys understand that, and I will find out whether you understood or not, whether or not you ask questions. If you don't ask question, I have to assume either everything is crystal clear, no more questions, or you bombed out completely, didn't understand anything, and I don't want that. Okay, let me share my screen. Hi, Bob. Everybody sees my slide now, my screen?
Yes, Swahili.
Okay. So this is a familiar slide. I'm going to show you every lesson, okay? So now we are in lesson 130, that the box that I'm focusing on that, okay? And this title keep changing okay? As I read more and more. So this title 130, this is the latest title. The nature and understanding of Paramatman. Before I put super soul there, Paramatman and the Jivatman, not just Jiva or the soul, but Jiv Atman. I told you again, Jivatman means the embodied soul. He still has material body. Okay. And what is the interrelationship? So this group of Shrutis, they are addressing that aspect of it. Okay. 18 to 22. Each verse is spoken by a particular Shruti. So that you have to assume. Okay. So what is the interrelationship? And that's very important for us to understand too also. Okay. Between the Paramatman, super soul, and we the Jivas, we still have material body. What is the interrelationship, interaction? And the transformative power of devotion. And I'm going to keep using this transformative power. That's a magic word. I'm going to use it in my thesis also, but that really dramatically transforms our body, who we are, the very self right in front of our eyes, that you can see yourself being transformed as you make progress on the devotional path, as you study and digest the material in the Bhagavatam by the aid of our acharyas. All right. So you need to appreciate that fact. And that bhakti process, slowly but steadily, we are making progress with the help of the Acharya's commentaries in the Bhagavatam. Krishna himself start acting on us. He is giving, some of its Shakti is giving more and more realizations. Okay? And he helped us to understand that Remember last week we covered, yesterday we covered, what is that? Buddhi, Indriya,
Mana prana.
and prana. So these four aspects, don't forget, you remember all the time. This is why Krishna is connecting with us, and we are being connected with him as we offer our devotional service. So what is the, so constantly there is a dialogue going on when we and the super soul before we come to Bhagavan realization. So those yogis are on that level now. And constantly super soul is connect with us, and super soul is communicating with us. And what is the language of the communication? Okay, that is the crux of the whole my dissertation. So the transformative power of devotion, how interacts in this interrelationship, talking with Paramatman in the heart. We, the Jiva soul, Atman. Okay. So that is what we are going to learn in these 5 verses, 18 through 22. Very, very important. And these prayers, every group of these Shrutis, so much to learn in great depth. That's why I keep refining my PowerPoints all the time. Okay, so moving on to that. So this is the highlight of this today's verses. Okay, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. I wish I had more time to actually have some of you to recite that verse also. I assume that somebody did that, but while I'm speaking, each of the verse also you have to read. Okay, so when you are reading at home, keep the verse in front of you. Unfortunately, I don't have much time to read the verses too. So text 18, this is what it is. From gross to subtler level, that is what we are going to see now. Okay, gradually moving from the perception of super soul in the belly, moving to heart, and finally to the Brahmarandra, the hole in the skull. And that is the final thing. Then soul doesn't have to come back. Otherwise, soul has to come back. The Paramatma is manifested. So verse 18 is that from gross to subtler level, beginning with, so our consciousness also changes. Oh, that's another thing I need to point out. We are all under the impression that the soul gives consciousness, right? That is also not absolutely true. The soul cannot get consciousness until and after Paramatma helps us to realize, to feel, to experience. So consciousness is actually given by Paramatman in our beings, in the heart, and so on like that. Okay. So depending upon the soul's karmic bondage, Paramatma gives that much level of consciousness, understanding. जैसे कि if you want to teach calculus, you cannot teach somebody who is in a high school level. Somebody must have gone in the college level, right? So here also, depending upon a student, you give that kind of knowledge, that much knowledge, and gradually uplift the student. So Krishna is also doing the same thing. So he gives that much level of consciousness that we need at a particular progression on our path. As we render devotional service, more and more deeper consciousness sips in from within. So then that's what we are going to see, this gross to subtler level, and the ascent of consciousness, gradually rising the level of consciousness from material consciousness to spiritual consciousness. Now coming to the 19th verse. Now Paramatma's manifestation, its relationship with the material world. So Paramatma not only keeps contact with us, but also the Prakriti. And this is a triangle. So that's my thesis is all about the communication. What is that communication? triangular communication. Okay, and what is the language of that communication? For us, it's bhakti process. But those who are material platform is a great thirst to enjoy the matter. That is a driving factor. But now we are on the devotional platform, so the bhakti drives that, and that transforms. More and more we become enlightened, more and more Krishna gives that higher and higher level of consciousness from within. So the third, so that is Paramatma's manifested relationship with the material world. How we interact with the material world, not for sense gratification, but how best to utilize while we are in this material world and we still have material body, how best to serve the Lord. Remember, I told you that body, mind, complex is the cause for samsara. Samsara means repeated birth, death, old age, diseases. But the same body, mind complex utilize in Krishna's service all the senses in the mind, then that itself is the मैंने उस टाइम एक एग्जांपल दिया था ना, नीतीश की माता जी ट्रांसलेट नहीं थी हिंदी, एक कांटा चाहिए दूसरा कांटा निकालने के लिए, राइट? One thorn is stuck in our soul. In order to get it out, and you are in jungle. You don't have सुई नहीं मिलती है जंगल में, तो क्या करें? दूसरा कांटा निकालते हैं, दूसरा thorn निकालते हैं, and we help ourselves, right? So the same body mind complex that is the cause of our material existence, the same body mind complex, instead of sense gratification, we utilize in Krishna's service, then that itself is the opening, the opening for getting liberation from material existence. So that's an outlet. So that is why Super Soul is there also, is helping us to interact in the material world, but dramatically differently than we were before. Okay, how to utilize that in Krishna's service? So that that knowledge also he gives. Then moving on to verse 20, the nature of the Jivatmans and Paramatmans interrelationship. Now we are going to go a little more deeper. Those Shrutis are going to focus more and more on that aspect of it. Okay. And then verse 21, the supreme bliss of bhakti. Now the Shrutis are coming to slowly getting passed by Super Soul and moving into the Bhagavan aspect of it, So the bhakti is coming into play now. Yes, internally you offer bhakti, even when you communicate with Super Soul, and Super Soul is communicating with you. Bhakti is flowing already, but now moving on. Krishna is directly taking charge. It's not Paramatma anymore in the dead devotee's heart. Directly, Krishna's internal potency is taking place. The Super Soul gives information and help in all aspects of it, our material life as well as spiritual life. But now, as we make advancement on the bhakti platform, more and more he's going to give us the direction. Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam pratipurokam dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mana mama upayanti te. Precisely that information is given, how to come closer and closer to him. So this is a profound journey into divine pastimes. More and more we are infused with the thirst to know more and more about Krishna and his pastimes. More and more purification takes place. And we are coming to ultimately the pure mode of goodness, bhakti prayojita. That's where the science of Krishna comes into play. Then finally, the final verse, 22, as far as these prayers are concerned, okay? The verses continue, of course. The illusion of material detachment. And if you don't do that, what is the consequences? What are the consequences? That also, this Shruti is pointing out that. If you don't do that, okay. All right. With that, let's move on. So getting first into text 18. So here it is. So this is the verse 18 to 22 of 15. Now the composite outline. Now this is again. So now I'm focusing first the outline to give you what you are going to hear now. I've given you lengthy introduction, but now see now I want you to pay attention. I spent hours and hours to preparing these slides. Instead of giving one single slide, I broke into 3 slides so you can read it carefully. So one who is going to do the recapping, I would recommend to read this slide, these 3 slides. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like that, So here, so it is up to 9 slides are there. 9 thematic elements are there into 3 slides, 3 each. So first introduction. So here the composite outline serves as a comprehensive guide, study guide. So I'm now communicating with my brother-in-law who's going to help me publish all this Srimad Bhagavatam, Advanced Bhagavatam. Hopefully it's going to be published now, he's helping me out, getting me in touch with the publisher. Composite outline serves as a comprehensive guide for both text, allowing for a structured exploration of their themes and philosophical implications. So these 1, 2, 3, all these things, they are thematic elements. Then these on your rightmost portion you see first the explanation of the thematic elements and what are the philosophical implications, what are the philosophical insight. Okay, that we get there. So introduction. So overview of Paramatman. What is the definition and the nature of Paramatman? And what's its significance in spiritual tradition? Then what is the importance of Paramatman in understanding divine consciousness? Its connection to the Jivatman and influence on spiritual practice. Then moving into the second thematic element, the Paramatman's omnipresence. What is omnipresence? He is present everywhere. There's no place where Krishna is not there. Supersoul not only enters in the living entities, every atom of the universe. There's no place, nothing, even in every stone, rock, atom is there. That's the very name Vishnu, Visha Anu. He enters in the atom of every element. Thematic element, Paramatma resides within all life forms and as well as the non-living beings also. Philosophical implication reflects. So what is the philosophical implication of that? Reflection of the divine consciousness beyond physical limitations, bestowing intelligence and inspiration from all living beings. Third element, dynamics. So this third element is also important for you to understand. What is the dynamic? This is not a steady thing. Dynamics is going on between the transcendence and the immanence. You have to understand what are these terms. Transcendence means completely transcendental in the spiritual world, but that spiritual entity, when it comes into the material world, super soul, with us, that is called immanence. Incarnation of the Lord is also there, and he is a super soul interacting with us along with the material world. So that is called immanence. Transcendence in the material world. Transcendence in the spiritual world, that is pure transcendence. So thematic elements exist within the material world, yet unaffected by it. What is the philosophical implication? Highlights the transcendent nature of the Paramatman. Highlights the transcendent nature of the Paramatma. So Paramatma, even though situated within us, and we are on the material platform, we have material body, but Paramatma is not at all affected by the material things, okay? He still remains totally transcendental, Paramatman. So there's a distinction between divine essence and the Jivatmans. So 4, 5, 6. Fourth is viability of potency. Different degrees of potency aligned with each of Jivatman's capacity. So now we come to this level. What level of progress we are making, depending upon that degree of information coming from Paramatman with us. She is constantly interacting with us. Okay. And philosophical implication, diversity of consciousness. So different levels of consciousness. We are constantly, as we serve Krishna, constantly our consciousness is being transformed all the time. From material to spiritual transformation is taking place all the time. Okay. And progressing towards enlightenment to spiritual practice. More and more power comes in our bhakti. Fifth point, the eternal form. So all these elements that I'm describing you, we are going to go at a deeper level, okay? But this is to guide you through that, how you're going to move along. Thematic elements, the personal form of divine as eternal, filled with ecstatic enjoyment. Constantly, the Satchit Ananda, the Ananda is constantly devotees feeling, experiencing bliss. It's not like a chore. Bhakti is done very, very, with great enjoyment. Philosophical implication, significance of worshipping divine's personal aspect for spiritual realization. We are experiencing the taste of bhakti, literally tasting bhakti. Rasa is taking place in your heart and the mind. Nature of pure intelligence. Now, look at this great. No more material intelligence. Spiritual intelligence is coming into play now. क्या गजब की बात है, गजब की बात है ये. Krishna is bringing us in our heart. Even we are neophyte. He is giving us, infusing the spiritual intelligence he is giving us. That's the reason how I'm being helped in doing these PowerPoints. If he were not there, I would not be able to do this thing. He's giving me all these newer and newer ideas. How to present and make these slides as informative as possible. Individuals with pure intelligence recognize the Paramatma is the ultimate reality. See there now. We recognize this thing now. Path toward spiritual enlightenment, transcending material attachment. More and more as we progress towards spiritual advancement, lesser and lesser material attachment is becoming now. Now the final, 7, 8, 9. Paramatma, so this is a worship and divine authority now. Now the Shrutis are moving more and more Bhagwan aspect of it, Paramatma's inherent appearance are deserving of worship. Divine as the ultimate source of existence, worthy of reverence and devotion. More and we become enthused to render devotional service. Scriptural affirmation cited by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Now he's citing all this, whatever he's saying, he's giving us solid actual references. The Shrutis are giving that. Taittiriya Upanishad, Sitasvatara Upanishad, so on, all these things, Gopal Tapani Upanishad that we did that. All this thing is coming into play now. Finally, the final one in this segment, okay? 18 to 22. We keep moving. Core message, look at that, this level, how much progress we have made. We means that Jivatman has made that with the help of Paramatman. So there are three aspects. Affirmation of Paramatman as the source and sustainer of all beings. vision of interconnectedness. We interconnect with everything all around us. Nothing is separate from Krishna. We need to see Krishna in everything that we come across. Vision of interconnectedness among all forms and locations. Forms and there's a typo there, I'll correct it. Encouragement for practitioners to recognize Paramatman's presence in their spiritual journey. We constantly actually experience He is there with us every step of the way. Okay, see now the importance of going through this composite outline. More you'll get out of it if you make an effort to go through my slides. Not a single word is used unnecessarily. Be very careful. Every word is selected, I direct, if the AI is not giving me the one what I want, again I ask the AI, I don't like it. I want this and that. Okay, now we are getting into the thing. Let me stop here again. Any more questions? So I've given you the the glimpse of it, everything, outline of it. Now we are going to get into it. Any
हरे
questions?
कृष्ण प्रभु जी।
Raksha Mataji, yes.
हाँ प्रभु जी, जो जीवात्मा जो है वो मिक्सचर ऑफ मटेरियल एलिमेंट्स प्लस स्पिरिचुअल एलिमेंट्स।
We as the soul, we are spiritual, totally spiritual, but we have this material body. So we have this material
इट इज कॉल्ड
consciousness.
जीवात्मा है ना प्रभु जी?
That's why it's called Jivatman.
ओके।
Jivatman means he has this, he's the embodied soul. Embodied means body is there, material body is there. But we are constantly making progress, even the material body, Krishna is giving them spiritual consciousness as we render bhakti, as we get to hear his pastimes, as we get to hear his instructions, using those tools that he has given us, buddhi, indriya, manas, and prana. Constantly you need those. Before you were using it for your own purpose, now you want to use it for Krishna's purpose, to understand him, to understand his instructions in the Shrutis. Okay, so now we are
Hare
going to see.
Hare Krishna Bhaiji, what is the difference between soul and Jivatman?
Soul is pure spirit soul, okay? But the spirit soul in material world we have come, that's so we are.
Jivatma is embodied.
So this we are in material world. Soul is now in the material world. Soul is always remains Satchitananda, of course, qualitatively, but not quantitatively, right?
Okay.
Quantitatively, we are tiny bit portion.
Okay.
What Paramatma is there. And super soul is helping us to steadily make progress, steadily gives consciousness, more and more spiritual consciousness, less and less material consciousness. समझ पाए आप बहन जी?
प्रभु जी, all
जी भाई जी, thank you so much. And super soul is Paramatman. Super soul is
Paramatma is the
Paramatman.
super soul. Paramatma is the Lord is sitting in our heart and everywhere,
Yeah.
depending on perception. So he is there constantly helping us before we become
Yes.
Bhagavan realization.
Yes, Vaiji.
so Hare Krishna
Thank you
Prabhuji,
so
Dandavat Pranam.
Haji, who is that now?
Prabhuji, so
Oh, Samtamaji. Samanta Mataji.
yes, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Prabhuji, so the whole realization, all the realizing Bhagwan in all his three aspects, like even when we are absorbed in him or chanting his name, if we absorb thinking that he is Paramatma and Brahman and Bhagwan, all three he is there, so there will be a better realization, Prabhuji, of him.
Yeah.
Because
So
when we say Bhagwan, we kind of just imagine the deity, and because deity is at one place, our our attention is also at one place. But when you say Paramatma, then it becomes all pervasive. When you say, so then the realization becomes more stronger. Like
Okay, now,
more.
now stop and let me answer you. Okay? When I told you that this Paramatma, who is doing that? Is the yogis, Ashtanga yogis. We are now hearing of the Ashtanga yogis actually, their practice and how Super Soul is helping them, because their goal is to have control of the mind and so on like that. Super Soul is giving, and the Paramat and the Brahman study, that is the Gyanis are talking about. But now when you say you are a devotee, so devotee, as soon as you enter, even at the sadhana bhakti level, Krishna is taking charge of that. We have Super Soul, of course, because we are not still totally purified. We are at the practicing stage. Okay. Nonetheless, Krishna's internal potency is working for the devotee, unlike the yogis and the Gyanis. समझ आप समझ रही है ना?
Yes, Prabhuji.
So now when you say deity is the material form. For devotee is not material form. Devotee feels the presence of Krishna even in this deity form. You interact with great love and affection. You are dressing, you're offering bhogas, preparing bhogas and offering everything. That means you are really interacting with the Supreme right there. All right? And we feel the connection between the deity seva, and ourselves. Because even though Bhagavan is the deity form, the material form, stone, rock, whatever it is, but Krishna is interacting with us through the deity form also, because we still have this material body, embodied soul. So he takes our service and reciprocates. So that's the difference between a Jnani, yogi, and a devotee. You see that for yogis is the super soul interacting. For Jnani, they meditate internally, and that meditation is with Nirguna Nirakara Brahman. And we devotees, the Brahman is there, but it's Saguna Brahmana now. Sagun Brahman. But we call it Bhagavan. Right? Is that okay, Samata Mataji? Hari Bol?
Yes, Prabhuji. But my question was, yes, the Gyanis and the yogis, they have a different, like a different territory altogether. But as devotees also, not just Bhagavan realization, but just because we have the knowledge that it is Brahman and Paramatma, it is a holistic approach. So
Because we
our
are not
approach
still,
of,
so Samata Mataji, we are not still become Bhagavan realized yet. So
okay,
Paramatma is acting that level, but even that level, Krishna is Bhagavan, he is already giving the instructions to us.
yeah.
That's what I point out. In the 11th canto, we have not come to the 11th canto yet, but I have prepared all these things, PowerPoints, everything, all the way to 12th canto. So I'm telling upfront, I'm giving you these things that we are going to come across, and you will learn all these things as we go along. 11th canto, you'll be amazed what level of enlightenment you are going to get. All right.
Okay, done.
Okay, I got to move on now. Any other questions, comments? Because it's no point in hurrying, and if you don't understand, my labor is wasted, your labor is wasted. Because it's a difficult philosophy. That's the reason I'm taking it slowly. So please speak up if you don't understand. Just like Savata Mataji, Rashkumari, I call her Banji, Raksha Mataji, they are asking questions all the time. So then I learn whether I'm getting through all of you or not. If you keep quiet, I have no means to find out whether I'm going through connecting with you or not. So you help me to
Prabhuji,
help.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. तो प्रभु जी अगर मतलब हमें हर में परमात्मा का दर्शन तो करना ही है ना प्रभु जी। हम वो तो जानना ही है कि सब जगह पे
हाँ
भगवान है और सब में भी भगवान है,
हाँ,
परमात्मा
वो
से।
तो है, मगर हम दर्शन इसलिए नहीं कर पाते, हमें अभी तक वो क्वालिफिकेशन नहीं है, अभी तक दर्शन
अच्छा
नहीं है, मगर we experience his presence. Krishna allows, he reciprocates you on this level. So super soul is still there acting for us because we have not become totally Bhagwan realized as yet. And super soul will keep company with you until and after you become Bhagwan realized. But
And it is
already Bhagavan is acting by giving you this instruction, that he is not giving that kind of instruction to yogis and the gyanis. They are getting instruction, eventually they will get instructions. As I told you, that super soul in their heart is constantly giving higher and a higher level of spiritual consciousness in their heart. Okay?
तो प्रभु जी दे आर नॉट फीलिंग द ब्लिस,
Um,
मतलब जो डिवोटी ब्लिस फील करते हैं वो
devotee
भी।
जो feel bliss करते हैं, उस टाइप bliss, because look at the gyanis, they just meditate and they got to go long way to totally focus to reach to samadhi level. Unless they reach to samadhi level, don't get it. The fourth level of consciousness, Taittiriya, not I'm sorry, to what is called the fourth level of consciousness,
Turiya
Turiya
stage.
state.
Yeah.
Only a Turiya state, they directly connect with the Supreme through in Samadhi state, then they can visualize the Lord, But until then, ordinary Samadhi, they won't get it there. Okay, let me move on, okay? So now this one, 18th we are continuing, but now we are actually, now so far I given you only the outline. Now we are getting into it, all right? So hopefully you are now with me. Are you everybody's with me now?
यस
Yes,
प्रभु जी।
Prabhuji. It's
Yes,
taking
Now,
time, but we are grasping. Slowly, we are trying to understand.
yeah.
but now we are actually getting into it, okay?
Yes.
It
So
is
now,
very deep philosophy.
now the heavier dose of philosophy is going
Very
to come
deep.
in. Heavier dose. But I prepared you for all of you now to accept it, So now we are going to talk about this gross to subtler level movement, okay? In this verse 18, Shruti is saying that, okay? So here, text 18, I gave a heading, the path of worship from gross to subtler level. All right? And remember, this is still yogis doing that, Ashtanga yogis. So here, there are different levels of indwelling Paramatman. So now we are being enlightened what is a Paramatma. Bhagavad Gita knowledge gives you three aspects of it, right? Paramatma, what does Paramatma do? He is the witness, everything and anything what we do, he is witnessing every aspect of it, right? Second, he is giving instructions, guiding us. Third aspect of it, he is
Bhagavanta.
well, Shrudam Sarva Bhutanam. He is the best well-wishing friend that we can ever imagine. So he's witnessing.
उपद्रष्टा अनुमंता च हर्ता भोक्ता महेश।
Bhoktaram. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so grossest level to subtler level, yogi is moving, and higher level of consciousness is flowing. So grossest level is the one I told you about that. Those who worship in the abdomen, tummy, jataragni, food, digestion, that is the goal. The worship in the abdomen. So it's a newcomer yogi is there, of course, a neophyte yogi. He's just beginning. But when he's hungry, he cannot worship. Fill up the tummy first. And today's Ekadasi, I have not eaten anything yet. Worship. So it's 11 o'clock in the night now. Last meal I had yesterday. Worship in the abdomen, udara. Udara means tummy in Sanskrit. So udara means he is focusing there. So that's the grossest level. Okay. Although Paramatman appears in all three locations, Jataragni, Vaishvanara, in the abdomen, in the udara, then moving on to heart, then ultimately Brahmarandra. Most of us, we don't even go there. But although Paramatma appears in all three locations, so don't think Paramatma is situated in the heart only, depending upon our consciousness level. And the consciousness comes from Paramatma and to what we deserve. Okay. So we are in totally material conscious level. He gives the information about how to move on in the material world. All right. And as we associate devotees, and we start chanting all these things, then we come to the bhakti level, portion in the top was Brahmarandra. That's the one I'm talking about, in the little hole in the skull in the back. So there are different levels of indwelling Paramatman. So that is what you need to learn. Because we are all under the impression, I was under the impression that Paramatma is only in the heart. But here we are learning that's not just it's your realization. If you're material conscious level, then that's Paramatma is there, but it's giving different level of consciousness. The consciousness imparting to the soul. Okay, so here worship in the abdomen, how they do that. Individuals at the beginning stage of the spiritual perception, and they are called kurpa drasha. The Sanskrit word kurpa drasha literally means, you see in your eyes, if something is stuck in there, a dirt, some fiber, then that will cloud our vision, right? So these yogis, their vision is clouded because of that neophyte level. So that's literally, they're called kurpa drasha. Their vision is not clear, it's clouded. The individuals at the beginning stage of spiritual perception, Paramatman is in the form of Lord Vaishvanara. So hunger consciousness is there. You become hungry, so the supramental, go and feed yourself, then come back to me afterwards. The fire of digestion in the abdomen. And what is the philosophical implication of that? The foundational level of worship is grounded in a material understanding of the divine, focusing on Paramatma. So through material consciousness, the Paramatma is gradually bringing us to spiritual level. See that how merciful it is. He knows that we are totally in the material level now, materially conscious. So he helps us materially moving forward, but he is going to divert us gradually to become spiritual consciousness as we develop more and more qualifications to receive that spiritual consciousness. But he also prepares us for that within abdomen. So he satisfies all our needs, hunger, money, relationship with other beings in your family affairs, and all these things. He gives guidance. So that means says take Kriya Shakti. Kriya Shakti means acting. Different levels we are acting. So actions, concrete actions. So there also Super Soul is helping us. Then so what are the who are the followers in the A? What are the characteristics of those followers? Third is the philosophical insight. So this reflects a limited spiritual awareness. Practitioners in this phase may struggle to appreciate the deeper intricacies of divine existence. Second, thematic element, worship in the heart. Now, yoga is moving forward. Okay, as he continues his process, Super Soul is given. Now Super Soul going to give a dose of spiritual consciousness. More advanced yogis who recognize Paramatma residing within their heart. So now the hunger is not troubling anymore that much as used to do before. He's coming to see the heart. In the heart, the Super Soul is there. He begin to perceive Super Soul presence in his heart. This expression of worship merges knowledge. Jnana Shakti is there, is also being given with a profound understanding of consciousness. Consciousness, I told you, is constantly coming from Super Soul. The soul himself is learning. His learning process has already begun. More and more, he's getting conscious about certain things, limitations of the material world, and the excitement of getting into spiritual world. That spiritual entity is acting on that. So these yogis are called arunis. Okay. This journey from gross to subtle. So now it's becoming subtler. Okay. The grossest one is this Vaishvanara. Super Soul is not material God. Super Soul always remains transcendent. But the yogi is making progress. Journey from a gross to subtler level. So from Vaishvanara state, Jatra, other level, that is moving on to heart now. Understanding the divinity signifies a profound evolution in spiritual consciousness, underlining the transformative path. See that the transformative path is working now. He's not come to bhakti level yet, but at least partial realization. Who is Paramatma? Is Vishnu himself, Shirodaksha Vishnu. Shirodaksha Vishnu is the one whose expansion is situated as a super soul in our heart. Shirodaksha Vishnu, it literally says in Bhagavatam, he is of the size of our thumb in our heart. Forearm form, Vishnu form. So the yogi at level, by the help of super soul, he visualizes that. A personal form of the Lord. Journey from super soul is a localized personal form of the Lord. So he has made a tremendous stride forward. Journey from a gross to subtle understanding of divinity signifies a profound evolution in spiritual consciousness, underlying the transformative path toward recognizing the super soul. Now he begins to interact. Super soul is interacting with him, but he begins to interact with the super soul now. He feels his presence in the heart. Okay, moving on to further. Journey of the Atman. So Atman is continuing, okay? The soul now we are talking about, okay? Soul in the material body. Ascent through subtle centers. The soul's journey from the heart to the crown represents the evolution of consciousness and spiritual awakening. This sacred path inspires and motivates the spiritual practitioners, guiding them forward higher levels of awareness and understanding. Get it? Higher and higher level of awareness you are developing on the spiritual consciousness flowing, and gradually, conversely, material consciousness is depleting slowly. Philosophical insight. This emphasizes the importance of inner transformation. That transformation is already taking place. His meditation, super soul that he visualizes, and his Ashtanga yoga process is constantly helping him. So now look at this. This emphasizes the importance of inner transformation. highlighting the transition from the chaos of samsara. What is samsara? Repeated birth, death, old age, disease, and the material difficulties, pains that's going on. There is incentive for him to keep moving forward on the path that he chose. Ultimate realization. The ultimate goal is to attain a state of existence beyond the cycle of material life. So now he's developing goal now. He wants to get out of this material existence. Until then, he did not realize that. Ensuring that practitioners remain steadfast in the spiritual journey. So that's what I told you, that Bhakta, devotee, even in the practicing stage, Krishna is constantly helping him and making him steady. Naishtaki bhakti develops by Nityam Bhagavat Sevaya, right? Philosophical insight. This reinforces the sense of spiritual practice, achieving liberation and experiencing transcendent immortality. Transcendent immortality, okay? He is not getting immortal, of course, you have to understand that, because he still has a material body, but he is moving forward. Eventually, this yogi is going to realize, because even in the heart, he still will have to come back until his perception comes into that Brahmarandra stage. Then he doesn't have to come back. Yogis become perfect. So yogis, those trained yogis, actually they control how they want to live this material body. And these yogis, I read so much that they literally get the soul escape from this Brahmarandra in the hole from the skull. And those yogis, they can even go to the outer planetary systems while sitting here. The yogic perfection. Okay, then these are references. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gives these references also, okay, in their purport. So what is the main thrust of the personified? So each and every group, 18, 19, 20, 20, 21, 22, I'm giving at the end, what is the main thrust of the Shrutis. So pay attention to that level also. The personified Shrutis serve as vital navigators. You know what is navigator does that, right? That is actually your directions. When you drive a car, what do you have that little electronic unit? What is that unit called?
GPS.
So this is a GPS for us. So personified Shrutis serve as the vital navigator on the spiritual path. They present a progressive and evolving vision of the divine, emphasizing that authentic spiritual realization demands transcending limited material conception of God, divinity, and embracing the profound inner presence of the super soul. Now that yogi is really very conscious of Paramatma. He knows where the direction is coming, where from the direction is coming, as interacting also. Two-way communication is developed. This guidance not only, so he listens to the directions and he follows the directions. This guidance is not only offers support and clarity, but ultimately leads to liberation and everlasting existence. Because his goal is at that point, of course, become free from this material existence, pain, material sufferings, and everything. Okay, moving to 19. Again, are there any questions? All right. So Paramatma.
Hare
Yeah.
Krishna, Prabhuji.
Oh, yes,
Hare Krishna.
Madhav. So good to hear from you. Wonderful.
After the death of Jivatma, Jiva, both the super soul and soul are escaping through Brahmanandra.
No, the person's consciousness, his perception of the super soul is moving different levels.
Yeah.
Paramatma is there everywhere.
Hmm.
There's no place Paramatma is not there. Paramatma is there everywhere. Remember, Paramatma is in his heart, but he is in every atom of the universe. Every atom of your body is there. But he perceives, the soul perceives the presence at higher and higher level.
Yeah.
So Paramatma's omnipresence, he sees omnipresence means what? He is everywhere.
Everywhere.
Heart is there. So he develops love and affection, compassion for every living entity.
Okay.
Paramatma, for him, there is no enemy. He may be enemy to others, but for him, there is no one enemy.
Yeah.
Paramatma resides within every species of life. He learns that. He realizes that.
Yeah.
This presence reflects. So, Badal Prabhu, did I answer your question?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes.
I'm
I got the answer.
I'm very glad to hear from you.
Okay.
Keep moving, okay? Keep doing that.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Anything you don't explain, even if the class is over, I'm happy to explain to you, okay? You just contact me. Let me know. I'm on the WhatsApp. We can talk.
Yeah.
This presence reflects not a physical limitation, but a profound manifestation of divine consciousness. Now, see the divine consciousness. What is divine consciousness means? You're aware of that divinity.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. It embodies a level of awareness. So this awareness is also making progress that transcends the material realm, bestowing intelligence and inspiration upon every living being. So not only he and super soul, but his fellow beings all around him, not just fellow beings, but even the animals everywhere, he sees the presence of super soul in everyone's heart. So he develops compassion, love for everyone else, every living entity, not just humans. The dynamics of, now this is very important, I told you before, the dynamics of transcendence and immanence. Again, you need to be very, very clear, crystal clear, what is the meaning of that. Transcendence is only a spiritual world, okay? But that divinity in the spiritual world is when comes and help us in the material world, because we have this material body. So that is called immanence. So that Paramatma, he remains transcendental all the time, even though he is with us in the material body, but he is not affected by that. Paramatma exists within the material world, yet remains untouched by it. This is like Kamal, lotus. It's in the muddy water, right? But lotus is unaffected, it's not touched by the mud. This reinforces the transcendental nature of the Paramatmans, which retains its eternal and unchanging essence amidst the ephemeral. What is ephemeral? This world, material world, temporary material world, that's called ephemeral, that has beginning and the end, unlike the transcendent that is eternal. And material means all the times keep changing. Nature of material forms. It underscores the critical distinction between the divine and the conditioned souls, highlighting a high spiritual reality. So now he understands that there's something beyond this matter. Variability of potency. Paramatman exhibits varying degree of potency aligned with each individual Atman's capacity. So now you understand that? As Atman, the soul now, okay? Soul has material body, but Atma sitting in their heart, in his own heart. He now realizes that. He begins to experience the reality, who he is, then reality where he's moving forward, and keep enthused, keep doing that activity with individual Atman's capacity. So depending upon his level of progress, the Paramatman gives that level of consciousness. So this demonstrates the diversity of consciousness and levels of spiritual awareness among living beings. It suggests that as one progresses in enlightenment, degree of making progress in enlightenment through sincere spiritual practice, so the factor of spirituality, factor of sincerity of purpose that enters into his game, and understanding a clearer and deeper perception of the super soul's true nature emerges. How merciful that Paramatma is there, he's realizing, and how he's helping, how, in what way he's my best well-wishing friend, that I must follow his directions. He develops a trust in the direction that he's getting from within. And he is enthused to follow that instructions. The eternal form of Paramatman, aflame with pure ecstatic enjoyment. This underscores the significance of divine form and qualities. So what is divinity? Satchitananda, always blissful, right? So that little bit atomic part of that bliss is touching the practitioner's heart. You get a taste of it. So much so that you're wanting more and more of it. The significance of divine form and qualities, asserting that the worship of the personal aspect of divine. So more and more is getting personal aspect of it now. Is that slow? So now the Shrutis are moving forward, is coming to Bhagavan realization now. Bhagavan portion of it. They started with impersonal Brahman, right? Then coming to the Paramatma, that's a partial, localized, partial expansion. Then ultimately coming to Bhagavan. The nature of pure intelligence. See that I told you that Krishna gives more and more intelligence, but that intelligence is now changing from material intelligence, how to move forward in the material world, how to become smart in your job and everywhere. But now that smartness is given to make progress on the spiritual level, spiritual platform. So that kind of intelligence is being given to him by the Paramatman. And more utilize that intelligence, not only for you, but helping others, fellow devotees. The more and more intelligence keeps flowing, avirat, continuous, uninterrupted. Unlimited intelligence he can provide. This accentuates a path towards spiritual enlightenment that transcends material attachments. So now you see that every time you're making progress on the spiritual platform, you are also making progress in getting detached from material pursuits. Worship in divine authority. Paramatman is deserving of worship owing to his inherent opulence, which include his omnipresent nature, his role as the bestower of consciousness, and his capacity to guide all beings towards spiritual awakening. The three aspects of it, the person is going to recap, note that three aspects of it. Remind your fellow devotees this aspect, remember three aspects of it. This reinforces the concept that divine is the ultimate source of all existence, and thus worthy of profound reverence and devotion. Now the bhakti comes into play. Now see that you're guessing, you're realizing now that the Shrutis are coming to the bhakti platform now. The devotion is entering. Even Paramatma, devotionality says that, but now is coming, the Shrutis are coming to the Bhagavan portion of it now. So now the scriptural references, but let's focus on this main thrust of this verse 19. The personified Shrutis affirm, make sure that Paramatman is the ultimate source and sustainer of all life forms. They emphasize his entry into material existence does not denote limitations. Rather, it offers vital guidance and consciousness to all beings. The teachings compel us to acknowledge the divine nature that underlies the myriad forms of life. So see that now the practitioner is not conscious about himself. He's conscious about everything around him, other living entities. Even the material world, his vision is changing now. So what I'm going to do, if obviously we are not going to complete 22 all the way 22, so we'll continue the next time, okay? But I want to leave few. I'm already asking question to all of you. I'm encouraging you to ask questions. Status of the Atman. The Atman is not merely a separate entity, but a finite expansion of Paramatman. See that we are part of this Paramatman, although atomic portion of it, just a tiny bit. Nonetheless, we are the part of Paramatma in that sense. It exists not as an independent entity, but as an integral part of the Lord's divine spiritual energy. This understanding underscores the deep interconnectedness between each individual. So we become now connected. We are not no more just ourselves. Each and everybody all around us, we are connecting with this. So that's what Paramatman is training their Atma, situated in this body, physical body, is training, is guiding him properly everywhere. Everything that he becomes enlightened now. His whole vision is changing dramatically. What he was before and what is now. Marginal potency, tatastha shakti. So that is again in Bhagavad Gita, right? Krishna says that there is a inferior energy is there, and then this tatastha shakti in between. Spiritual soul is the spiritual, right? All spiritual. And then this, so tatastha shakti is the living entity. The Atma's classification as a marginal potency marks its exceptional position, straddling the realms of the spiritual and material. This unique position empowers the Atman to engage with both worlds, spiritual world and material. As long as he has material body, he needs to remain in material world, right? So he needs to keep, but now he makes positive advantage of this material world around him. How best to utilize in the service of that Paramatman. And Paramatma is guiding him, illuminating the duality of existence and affirming the Atman's capacity to make choices. So he learns how to make a right kind of choices now. Before he was unaware of it. He used to work on impulse, right? We all act on impulse. But now, as we become tuned with our Paramatman in our heart and we follow his instructions, now we become choosy how to decide properly. What kind of choices we must make. and we are confused, again we turn inward and we ask Super Soul, please tell me, what should I do? I'm in this chorai. I'm in this, should I go left? Should I turn right? Or should I go forward? I don't know. I cannot decide. You tell me. So that living entity now know where he's going to get the right kind of guidance. And he communicates with the Super Soul. Before, Super Soul was communicating him, right? Now two-way communication is there. Worship of the Supreme, realized sage is aware of the true nature of Atman. What is the soul? And is bound with the Supreme. Now see, the bonding is taking place. So now at this level, the bonding is with the innermost entity that he has within himself, that he can always approach. He is not alone anymore. As keys to transcending the shackles of material existence. So he doesn't have to deal the difficulty that comes in the material world. He knows somebody's there in my heart who is going to guide me. How do I react to the difficulties I'm facing now? What I ought to be doing that? And the Super Soul readily giving him the guidance, how you should conduct yourself in such kind of difficult situation. Should he turn left, should he right, or should I keep moving forward? Or time comes when he has to even take a step backward. Sometimes you need to do that. When the situation develops like that, take a step forward, a step backward, and then move 4 steps forward. That's why you keep moving. So it reinforces the notion that genuine faith and the act of surrendering, Sharanagati comes into play now, to the Supreme are indispensable for material spiritual advancement. Look at how much knowledge is giving us. Just incredible. So all these scriptural references that Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Tagore is quoting all these things. He's not telling anything just like that. And I particularly, I'm noting down in my PowerPoints, not for all of you guys, not just all of you, but it's going to help me in my writing my dissertation, because I have to quote all these academic references, scriptural references, and so on like that. Recognition of the Atman's true essence. Now, at 20, can we go in 5-10 minutes more? Haribol?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Just 10 minutes, okay? Recognition of the Atman's true essence. The Atman transcends mere material identity. It is a spiritual being poised for liberation. So now he has nothing to do with spiritual material world. He's poised to become free from material existence, actually. Liberation. This is the advanced yogi now we are talking about, So he's moving, his perception is going to move from heart to a higher level, surless level. Embracing this truth requires a profound shift in perspective. You look the world totally differently than what used to look before. Everything will look different now. Moving away from material identification toward a recognition of the divine connection, because he has established a two-way connection with the Supreme. Did you hear what I said that?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Two-way communication with the Supreme. The best guidance that he can ever imagine. He knows where to get it. Imports of worship and surrender, Sharanagati, then is totally committed to surrender. Full surrender, unconditional surrender. He is going to blindly trust whatever this innermost spirit is telling him. And he's going to act upon it. Not just listen, but act upon it. Armed with this understanding, the sages fervently worship the Supreme Lord. And his worshipping is going to be strengthened Just like medicine you take when you're sick, and when the medicine begins to show improvement in his condition, he's going to trust that medicine. He's going to be inspired, enticed to take continually, regularly that medicine. Conclusion, the commentary thus encapsulate the vital relationship between the Atman and the Paramatman, urging individuals to acknowledge their spiritual identity. First, he realized that he is not this material body, but he is pure spirit soul. Before he knew that, but he did not actually come to that level. Now he knows that he has nothing to do with this material body. And slowly that super soul is going to leave him. Then that, because there is no more, he's coming to moksha, liberation. Okay, now I'll stop here. 21 and 22 will continue next week. Okay, Haribol. Because if you read it, this thing, I'm going to send you today because I developed just a few hours before this class began. Okay, so I'm going to send you that. You study that, and next week we'll discuss that more. Okay, particularly one who is going to do recapping must read every sentence of it. All right.
I'm doing the recapping, bro.
अर्चना जी आप लिए तो आपके लिए तो कुछ ये तो बिल्कुल आसान है
नहीं समझ बोलिए.
Okay. And you'll add some spices in that, right?
I don't think so, bro. This is quite tough.
बताइए आपके लिए मेरे दिल में कितनी रिस्पेक्ट है, पता है आपको, पता नहीं कितना, how much I respect you. हरि बोल.
Okay.
Come on.
I'm doing the...
And let's talk for 5 minutes. If you have any questions, comments.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Badal Prabhu, yes.
Not with pranam. Is past karma also acting on progression of our bhakti process?
Yeah, karmas are there, but slowly, when we develop to a relationship with the Supreme and we become qualified, then karma. But until then, even then at that stage, एक पूरा हाथ कटने का होना होता है. If your karma punishment is that losing the arm, Krishna gives little scratch on your finger.
Yeah.
That is given by Prabhupada in Bhagavad Gita.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
प्रभु जी हमें शक्ति मिलती है, सहन करने की शक्ति मिल जाती है.
बच जाते हैं, बड़ी मुश्किलें से बच जाते हैं. It happens to me many times. This morning I fell down in my bathroom, and I hit my back against the wall. I thought, what will happen to me now? So Krishna saved me. So you don't know how many ways Krishna helps his devotee without knowing. Even Arjuna, when he was fighting Mahabharata war, toward the end, Krishna tells him, it's all these arrows that I protected you all the time, without Arjuna realizing that. So many different ways when we come to Bhakti platform, Krishna protects all the time that we are not aware of it.
પ્રભુજી તમને બહુ ઇન્જરી નથી થઈ ને બીજી કોઈ?
ના હજી અત્યારે તો બ્રેન ચાલુ છે બરાબર છે, but I hit very hard, in the bathroom.
તેલ લગાવી દેજો પ્રભુજી પાછળ.
It is very risky, Bhaiji, to
Yeah,
fall down
my
and
age people, it's very common for people falling in my age,
Yes. Please be careful.
Okay. So now, okay, then we'll continue the discussion when we meet next week. Until then, so let's get a Nishima prayer, conclude the class.
Okay.
So always, everybody, feel free to call me, okay? If you have questions in between.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yes, Sanjeev Prabhu.
Yeah, am I audible? So nice, probably very difficult concept to walk us through. I just had one quick one. Like the two-way communication with the Paramatma, is it only at the advanced stage, or like the practitioner like us also can experience that? Have you
But
personally?
practicing stage also you communicate. Super soul is always communicating with you, giving guidance, right? But you want to, the progress will come when you begin to communicate with super soul. You ask, you getting difficulties, decision making process, time comes, you refer to that inside. Tell me, what should I do now?
Yes.
That is when you realize that the two-way communication is established. Then you really get the direct guidance from within. What you do, what you ought to do.
Prabhuji, it has been said, na, Lord gives us tailor in the initial stages of bhakti.
Yeah, correct.
Curtain raiser, and then yeah, so we have to wait so long. And
Thank you.
then, yeah.
प्रभु जी, अगर भगवत गीता में क्या है, करिष्ये वचन तव, अर्जुन कहता है, अर्जुन जी कहते हैं, तो मगर वो जब भी हम डेवलप करेंगे कि अभी हम भगवान जो कहेंगे वो ही हम करेंगे, तब भगवान हमें बराबर गाइड कर सकते हैं। जब हम इच्छा रखेंगे कि हम करिष्ये वचन तव।
That is the turning point in our devotional life.
Yes, प्रभु जी।
If we surrender totally, then he guides every time.
Yes, correct. You're right. Benji, आप बिल्कुल correct है. We have a long way to go.
Or to say he's always guiding, but when we surrender, then we can hear what he's and follow. Right?
Absolutely. Thank you. Okay, Benji, आप कीजिए ऋषियों पर.
जी भाई जी, I do. Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya. Prahlad Dahine. Prahlad Dahine. Hiranyakashi Purvakshah. Hiranyakashi Purvakshah. शिलाटंका नखालाए, शिलाटंका नखालाए, इतो नरसिम्हा पर तो नरसिम्हा, इतो नरसिम्हा पर तो नरसिम्हा, यतो यतो यामि ततो नरसिम्हा, यतो यतो यामि ततो नरसिम्हा, वही नरसिम्हा हृदये नरसिम्हा, नरसिंहदिं शरणं प्रपदे, तव कर कमलवरे नखाम्, अद्भुत शृंगां दलिता हिरण्यकशिपु तनुभृङ्गं, केशवधृता नरहरि रूपा, जय जगदीश हरे, जय जगदीश हरे, तव कर कमलवरे नखाम्, अद्भुत शृंगां दलिता हिरण्यकशिपु तनुभृङ्गां, केशवधृता नरहरि रूपा, जय जगदीश हरे, जय जगदीश हरे, जय जगदीश हरे, जय नरसिंहदेव, जय नरसिंहदेव, जय नरसिंहदेव, जय नरसिंहदेव, जय प्रहलाद महाराज, जय प्रहलाद महाराज, जय प्रहलाद महाराज, जय प्रहलाद महाराज, जय जय प्रभुपाद, 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 जय जय गुरुदेव, जय जय गुरुदेव, जय जय गुरुदेव. Thank you to all. Jai Ho Narasimha Dev.
Thank you, Mataji. Very nice. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone.
Mataji, Hare.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
I wish you all the wonderful, wonderful week ahead. We'll meet next weekend. Hari Bol. Thank you.
Hari
Thank you,
bol,
Maharaj ji.
bhai.
Thank you very
Hari
much.
jo.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Ji, Hare Krishna. So wonderful class. Danda
Happy
pranam to all
Ekadashi.
devotees. Happy Ekadashi to all.
Devotees, I'm going to download this today's PowerPoints, okay? So you can get access to it.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
And I'm in upload it, okay?
Okay, bhai.
Okay,
Thank you,
hi,
bhai.
both.